Okay. We are going to. Of course, it didn't work. Okay. Um, Fun times with that. Hold on. Let me see if I can get this to. I wonder if I can. Here, let me try something. Before we even start here, I wonder if I can. I wonder if I can win against technology. Think I.
Nice try.
We just.
What's it called? Fighting against the machine or some sort?
I'm gonna try here. Hey, look at that! The webcam's decided it doesn't exist anymore. That's fun. Okay, whatever. Uh, Hello and welcome. I guess you're staring in, to the void, and you're just gonna stare into this warp field and be hypnotized. That's my goal.
And the void is staring right back.
I don't know where my cat is, but yes. Um,
Yeah.
Anyways,
Right.
Mine is
welcome
bored and left.
to, uh, episode 9 of Star Trek Intelligence, which is basically might as well be a mid-season. Um, just so all of you are aware that there will be no session next week because a member of ours needs the break time to brace themselves for mental fortitude of taking multiple streams within a week, and I will not be present either because I had a obligation that I need to attend to that I totally forgot about because as Lucas so wonderfully put, individually I know my schedules, but when you put them together, god damn, that's too hard. But I can't use the webcam to show you guys because the world has decided it wants to fuck me in that regard. But we are one follower away, actually, from the releasing the episode 0, the giveaway for the Star Trek Intelligence playing cards. And if again, as always, we have within our Discord link, if you wish to become a part of that and just interact with some of the weird people and get tortured with absolutely horrific ship designs, I know you're watching. You can press that link, and in addition, we have player applications for upcoming games. One of them is a 5th edition kind of horror-esque setting, and the other is a Star Trek Adventures game. It'll be a monthly game, and it'll feature the Gamma Quadrant. So if that sounds like something that's interesting to you or you would like to be a part of, find the link and toss your name in the hat, so to speak. If you're not following, please do. But anyways, aside from that, what else do I have? I think I have something else in addition to that. What was that? Right, like last time when Lucas wasn't here, I kind of did a promotion in their stead because I like promoting and supporting my cast. Lucas is notably on the Rule of Lore channel and server. Does some cool things there. Currently, they are doing a whole bunch of streams that are zombie related for the upcoming actual play Tomorrow is Dead Season 2, which will be using the Free League Walking Dead system, if I remember correctly. Cool streams that they do: Left 4 Dead, Project Zomboid, which that one's pain. I would go there not to watch them and support them, there more for emotional support, but the point still stands. Aside from that, I don't have anything, so if anyone else would like to plug and promote, please do.
I'll go first this time, I guess. Hi, I'm Slay. I'm a TTRPG performer. My Twitter is at Sons of Warband. Hit me up if you're looking for someone to play in TTRPGs. I would love to be in one. Be another one. That would be fun.
I am Silver Sugar, aka Risa. I am a content creator here on Twitch and on Discord. If you just follow my name over to my socials, you can find me all over the internet, where I like to play a lot of video games. Right now I'm doing another Pokemon Nuzlocke. And yeah, hit me up for art as well.
Hi. My name is Little Legend, and I am on Tumblr. I do art. It's mostly Sonic. Sometimes it's DuckTales. When I want to spice it up a little bit. Yeah, I am trying to maybe start some sort of big project. Who knows? But genuinely, just come on to my Tumblr. It's Little Legend Dash Arts.
Okay. Oh, right. In regards to the Nuzlocke, before I press and we switch over to getting into the game, the Nuzlocke, that, Silver is doing, I am also doing one, that has turned into an impromptu Nuzlocke race. That'll typically be spontaneous for the most part, but will consistently be on Wednesdays. I've been experiencing pain, so if you
It's
wish
been a
to,
crazy ride, y'all.
if you want to watch, well, let's just say the M9 TPK'd.
The suffering.
But anyways, I think that is it. So let us jump into the game. We will be right back, y'all.
Not me pre-rolling dice over here.
Welcome back. So, with, the previous arc, the team ended up in the year 2027, just a year after the preludes and the major battles to World War III began. The only way for it to begin was to let events play out. Finding a bit of a loophole, the team was able to manage to allow the fixed point to continue, but also perhaps learn a little something about their own past. And upon returning, having passed that test, and certain individuals have gleaned a little bit more into their person. I'm talking with my hands so much and no one can see it. But anyways,
As an Italian, that is a very big mood.
with that though, the year now, the days have, and weeks have passed, minor missions have popped up, not as jarring as some of the other ones. But finally, for the first time, Commander, your team, upon looking through the manifest and mission logs on this, it's about probably 5 p.m. And looking through, the entire Seoul Atlantic Field Office of Special Projects and Operations has no current standing missions. No tasks that need to be completed immediately. Nothing. They will have at least the entire night to themselves to do as what they wish. The day, and you may convert the start date if you wish, but it is 5 o'clock on April 5th, 2385. Commander, as you're kind of looking through this and some of the manifests, kind of going back a little bit to a conversation that you had a few weeks ago. A conversation between yourself and your XO. I believe Lieutenant Commander Tate Mahone had a conversation they wished to discuss with you.
So this would be taking place not too long after getting popped back.
Yeah, not too long. Maybe a couple days after, but not too long. Because I'm assuming Tate's not going to let that stew for too long.
No.
Because Tate was technically in command on that during that incident, so as soon as Tate finished the report, they went to Jolor. So, however long it took them to finish that report.
Okay.
Yeah, and Jaloran would have finished up like all the stuff that only she could do, and then she would have headed home.
So, am I going to your house?
Probably.
Yeah, that's where you'd likely find her.
Alright, so I arrive and I knock on your door.
Jaloran is not the one to answer. Captain Chakotay is the one to answer, actually.
Hello, I need to...
Yep,
Hello,
I know.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
I knew this was coming.
Mm-hmm.
Kitchen.
Thank you, sir. And I go to the kitchen.
Chakotay will make it known to you, Jaloran. You have a visitor.
Took a little longer than I expected, but I imagine that's because there were a bunch of reports to be done still.
This seems like one of those conversations. I'm gonna go check the garden.
The vibes sound familiar to the ones you've had with Catherine?
The ones I still have with it, yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, I need to steal some fresh produce, because Voyager's
It's good.
gonna need a little bit of...
I think there should be some fresh herbs out there, too.
You shouldn't have told me that, and you'll just leave.
Quick question. Lynn, has Jaloran ever met Tate's mother?
No.
Mm-mm.
No.
Not,
you have
not in person.
met her, but you do know her by reputation. And
Yeah.
she is not a She is an admiral in her station. She definitely has certain vibes of certain admirals, but she's in that station for a reason. She didn't accidentally end up there.
And
Okay.
Jalaran would be well aware of that.
Okay, so anyone who knows Tate's mother knows the stance that Tate is taking unconsciously from their mother. They're very stiff. They're very formal. Their eyes are very piercing. Notably, Jaloran, you notice that you've picked up a little bit about some quirks from Kadan that that um, that Tate will have occasionally, especially in stressful times. There's none of that here. This is all Tate.
Yeah. Jalaran's just working on and she's like fussing with some various food items on the counter. But she acknowledges Tate, and she gestures to the kitchen table that's nearby. Do you want to have a seat?
Thank you, Commander. I'll stand. And Commander, you passed out, and you from stress apparently, or I don't know what happened to you. I don't fully understand, but I need to know what is going on with you. If I'm gonna be your exo, I need to know how to help you. I'm your exo. I'm supposed to help you.
That I'm very well aware of. She's just keeping herself busy, and like she just wants to keep her hands busy. So it's one of those. Tate can tell that she's mulling over things, but she's not outright dismissing them. It's just one of those moments of trying to compose herself a little bit, just trying to get her thoughts together. Um, Almost as if she's trying to decide uh, what approach to take. At least from the outside.
I also noticed, Commander, that you seem very comfortable in that century, and you had a safe house in that century.
She gives him a half a nod. Yes, that's true. Suppose that's as good of an opening as I'm going to get. You're not the only one who has experience with more memories than you can deal with.
Care to elaborate, sir?
It's difficult to explain. Q is not the first immortal that I've met.
Really?
Yeah. There's some hiding right underneath our noses.
That's mildly disturbing. Are you going to give me more of an explanation?
Not at this time.
All right,
as for me, as for me, getting their memories was a little bit of an accident.
All right, then let's talk about you passing out from exhaustion or what. What
You're
happened?
right. Well, in a sense, you're right. It was stress. But it was a few other things too.
Okay.
It seems that I did not fully understand the effect of going into that space. Though I don't think any of us could have anticipated going someplace else that we don't recognize. It was a bit jarring for all of us. But considering the connections that I have, it certainly did a number on. Mm, let's just say there were cracks now that there weren't before. I'm still working on it, but I still don't understand what that space is and why it affected me the way it did.
If there are things wrong with you, if you're getting tired or whatever, you need to tell me so that I can take the load if you need me to. I know that I'm young and I don't come off as the most confident sometimes. But I'm a Starfleet officer. I got my rank for a reason. I can handle it if you need me to.
And you've demonstrated that quite well. And I assure you I'll keep that in mind for the future. At the time, though, there was a lot of things we were all juggling at the same time. It kind of struck me outside of the blue. I wasn't ready for it either. Believe me, I got a thorough talking to from Chakotay.
Just off of just a maybe coincidence or bad timing on your part or his. It's just coming in with just a question. Just how much of the rosemary do you think I could just acquisition from the garden? Kind of absently mindedly, like going through a data pad as well. Clearly doing final checkovers.
You could probably acquisition about half.
Okay.
I still want some.
Well, I'm not taking the whole thing. I just know that given how the previous mission of Voyager went, we decided to go a little bit old school, and there's actually a kitchen in the vessel.
I remember. You should probably take some time in Sage as well.
Well, a little bit of advice like that isn't bad, but it's been interesting talking and seeing you again, Commander, but I do have to leave in less than an hour. We're supposed to use the slipstream hub from the USS Aventine to get to a station. I don't remember the station name. There's so many numbers involved with it, but it's the one closest to the Delta Quadrant.
You'll keep in touch, right?
There's been a line of buoys that have already been put in the quadrant. From my understanding, it'll be the easiest way to keep in touch. Conversations might have a few seconds to a few minutes delay, but there will be... It won't be a 60,000 light year problem. We're exploring the other half that we didn't get to see.
So at least I'll hear from you a little bit more often than once every decade.
Yeah, hopefully. There is a comm badge, and then there's just it kind of retreats a little bit, so it's not interrupting more of a conversation that the two of you have going on. But there is a bit of a stressed, we gotta go. Hopefully everything is all checked, and you can tell you're not really sure who it is, but by the way things are being worded, you can tell that this woman is probably a first officer or an engineer. Because they have a very particular way of being able to talk to a captain, whereas most officers don't.
All right.
Well,
Don't keep Milana waiting up there.
alright, well, that's my scolding.
Do you think she's mellowed out at all after having a couple of kids?
No,
Or has she gotten
hasn't.
worse? Worse, okay.
Rotate the Voyager, energized, and just vanishes.
Jolarn's just kind of shaking her head and chuckling. Where were we, Tate?
We were in the middle of me saying, you need to tell me things so that I can help you.
Right.
Let me help you, sir.
I'll do my best to remember to get in touch with you before point of collapse. But like I was saying, that last one definitely caught me by surprise. I thought things were under control. I definitely did not catch the signs that not everything was quite right. Hard to get in touch when you're missing the signs yourself.
Understood, sir. But when I saw you pass out on that floor, that scared me. I
I
don't
can
want to see
imagine.
that. I don't want to see that again if I can help it.
I don't want to be in that position again.
And I don't want to have to take over this field off because I don't want to do that. Not yet. Though my mother would be thrilled.
How is your mother lately?
I called her recently. She is her. That's the best way I can describe it. She's fine.
All Admiral and still a little too stiff in certain points?
Yeah, she is invested in her work. She likes her work, and she wants to keep climbing the ladder. I think she has ambitions to be the top person at Starfleet someday.
She certainly has the drive for it. But I imagine she'll find that there are other admirals just like her. She's going to have plenty of competition for the top.
My mother is very good with competition.
At the declaration of that, you can't tell, Commander, whether your cousin did this intentionally or legitimately forgot. but the food and stuff that was being prepped is starting to either boil over or beginning to burn.
There's a string of it's a string of syllables that Tate can clearly pick up on the fact is cussing as she dives for the nearest pot. But it's not it's in that language that was on that data pad. So it's just spoken.
Yeah, but context is enough.
Yeah.
Right. And with that conversation, and perhaps Tate stays and helps mitigate that damage a little bit.
Tate'll stay if Lauren will let them.
Oh yeah. It's like after she manages to get one under control, she just waves them over and starts pointing at a couple other things. It's like, could you get that and that over there?
We flash forward once again. As Commander, you are looking at this pad with no current mission manifest. They are all blank. Which is rare. And you know it won't last long. But at least for the evening, your team and the wider Madrid field office has free time on their hands. But I think it's pretty obvious that such announcements travel quickly. As news is being kind of put forth that people may kind of take time off. They'll still have to have the comm badges on them, but other than that, their time is their own. And speaking of that, I'm going to pull us out of the game here for just a second, because we have hit 30 followers.
Yay!
So
Thank you, everyone.
So
Heck
with
to
that,
yeah.
I am going to explain very quickly, just briefly, how this is going to work. We'll probably do this at break because we are at the 30 follower mark. So, what will happen here is it won't happen this session, but it will happen during the next session. We will do a giveaway at that time. You will have to be present within the chat for that to be effective, but we will get episode 0 up and running as quickly as possible as part of that. So thank you for all the followers, and I will adjust the goal as we make for another goal. But little bits at a time, we'll get there. Back into the game. Everyone, you have your evening free about you. How do you wish to spend that time?
Well, I immediately start kicking people out of my holodeck.
The who would it be again? I gotta check really quickly. Lieutenant Yana, who is like the forensic lab overseer, kind of even like being kind of moved out of the way, just in very Vulcan-esque ways. I will remind you that this is a shared lab.
I have had my name on the chart for weeks. Out, get out, everybody get out. Out. She's just like a burst of energy.
Right, well,
but
please do
jovial
not
and
break
happy.
anything while I am away.
No promises.
You're not sure if it's possible for a Vulcan to have an eye twitch, but you swear it was there.
Yes. I mean, what? I'm not a little shithead right now. No.
Ensign Petrovich is trying to stifle laughter. She is trying so damn hard and not succeeding.
I make it my goal every shift to get her to break. And it's just a delight every time. Her laughter fuels Kavai.
She finally manages to calm herself. Like the lieutenant said, don't break anything. Not that I you know.
She's already, like, plopping goggles on.
Your actions are your own, and, at least I won't get in trouble, so good luck.
Much obliged. She cracks her knuckles and spends a good couple hours working on
hold
Juno
on.
2.
Hold on. She's gonna try.
Oh no!
It's like the moment she tries to activate a program, nothing happens.
What is with this? Okay, computer, run diagnostic Kavai 3.
Access denied.
How dare you? And she just squints up at the computer and, like, probably starts working on trying to either jailbreak this or I think she's been wanting this break for so long. I think she even taps her badge. Kavai to the commander.
Commander Jaloran here.
Are you doing this? Just no context.
I don't think the context is needed.
It's just a beat of silence, and there's like a little message that pops up, and it's like, train of thought, come back, please.
Kavai's already got code running to try and get around this, but I think once she realizes what's up, like, you just get this, like, perfectly cut scream of, like, frustration as as she drops comms.
Yeah, and it's like, and every line of code just fails to work. So it's like any little thing that Kavai tries to do, it's almost like the Chinese finger traps. Like the harder she tries, the worse it gets. It's like
she definitely spends some time on it, but I think her frustrations actually get the better of her today, and they end up going to take up something that they'd had on rain check for a while.
Yeah, but it's very clear that like she's going head to head with Jaloran's work, which Kavai has not mastered yet.
No.
So, and this is a very clear message of like, no, you've spent enough time in this holodeck, and like it's also getting across the message of like, I know what you're doing in this holodeck, and I'm cutting you off. You need to leave the building.
Like, fine, I will socialize. God damn it.
She doesn't care if she socializes or not. She just wants her out of the building. She doesn't like much like
Kavai definitely sleeps on the job. Like they don't leave if they absolutely don't have to. So this is warranted and fair.
Yeah, and Jaloran is very aware of that. So it's like much like with Lieutenant Caraballo, she's like implementing little tactics of like, I'm trying to get you out of the building. I do not want you to live here. This is your job. Your life is out there beyond this place. So I think she doesn't care so much that like she is not going to socialize. She just wants her to explore life beyond headquarters.
Absolutely.
So she's basically cutting her off for a little while.
Well deserved.
Tough love of you need to forcibly take a break from this.
Man, the holodeck withdrawals are so brutal. I didn't know.
And And as Kavai like stalks out, it's good-natured anger because it was a good problem to figure out. They let their coworkers know, yeah, you can have your slots. I give up.
I'm not
and
taking the slots. I am going home. And they just
I don't know how you can stand it. And I believe they are going to, after some meandering of not really knowing what to do, I think they remember that they had a rain check with Mira for a movie night.
Okay.
I'll tap my comm badge. Goodbye to Mira.
Oh yeah, hey, what's up?
I've been shut out. Are you free this evening?
Oh god. Oh, I'm sorry.
Kavai's face is just
yeah.
flat.
Listen. I'm not saying I told you so because I never did, but if I could, I would
can
totally
hear you
do
thinking
it.
it
Anyway,
from here.
well, I was never quiet in my thoughts. But yeah, if you got anything you want to do, I guess we can do it.
Fantastic. Have you eaten?
Nothing that's like too. Where is my train of thought? Okay, no. I'm sorry.
Man, everyone's just
Nothing
It's
that is.
one of those days.
who
It hitched a ride with mine.
who
and
knows
went up
who knows the train schedule? Not any of us.
Nobody. Anyway, nothing too feeling, honestly, so,
Fantastic. Your place or mine?
She looks all around her room like, could I really suggest yours? The
Acceptable.
thing is, she kind of, like, just a few hours ago, she exploded one of her punching bags, so it doesn't look good in there.
Well, Kavai's home is
pretty
not much better.
Fair enough. I mean, at least it's not filled with sand.
Fair. Kavai's space, once you arrive, is filled with a lot of books. A lot of old tech, a lot of what appears to be scavenged parts, as if they're trying to. Not trying. They're definitely making their own holodeck, very ramshackle. That's not going well because they spend most of their time at work. It's fine. Don't worry about it. But a lot of books, a lot of media, a lot of retro game consoles, anything they can get their grubby little mitts on. But it's also cozy. There's definitely beanbags, that kind of vibe. Very much looks like what you would picture like a college dorm, but bigger. So
Bigger
very busy.
and as if, college students aren't actually screwed over in this century.
Exactly. But I think Kavai has taken to trying out pizza this day, and they order something in. I believe you promised to show me an animated feature.
Yeah, sure. What do you want to watch?
Dealer's choice.
Uh,
And
oh,
Kai actually
gosh.
is rummaging through a box in the back as you are looking through. They do have quite the selection of DVDs, a few scattered and very, very beat up looking VHSs as well.
Thankfully, with the 24th century, there's stuff to convert those, but it is. Some of them are just you're looking at them as like, how did you come across this? Because some of these things are truly like archaic.
Yes.
But I mean, in terms of just like an AV archive of stuff, it is probably several million things of different categories. It is a lot. And they probably have a much cleaner filtering system in this century. Because streaming systems and their filtering systems suck. But yeah, selecting
Organized chaos.
Yeah, whatever is selected at the time. Not to insult, the great wide of certain European culture and cooking. The whole like pizza thing, it's not replicated. It's the full brick oven experience.
Oh, beautiful.
Mira looks at the what Kavai is currently doing. She's like, you know that those were kind of redundant, even at the time when we were transported to, right?
Oh yes.
Like I learned how to use CDs, but this is just.
I must admit I was a little fascinated. We weren't there long, but I love lost media. This planet in particular is just a wealth of knowledge.
I wouldn't call it lost media. It's just kind of useless, I guess. But whatever floats your boat.
I think whatever nearest piece of technology is around, Kavai earmuffs it as if it's able to hear that. It's like, you heard nothing.
Oh my god.
Mira gives her a look.
Kavai's definitely the type who has named all of their electronics.
Before we continue, there isn't any sentient machinery in here, right? Like, I don't know, a supercomputer that can read your thoughts or some stuff, or the one that can scream out your secrets.
No, just me.
Alright, I'm satisfied with that answer. So do you like comedies? Do you like more tragical stories? Oh, I got this one. She kind of like I don't know what they use specifically. Is that like a gigantic screen?
The
or just a
interesting
screen?
way how things are converted in this day and age is no matter what you do with older technology, you have to put it into some sort of scan and convert. But it's not like a giant screen as much as it is like a holographic screen coming up as a display that your hand could pass through it. It's very thin and very flat, but it almost creates a very very crisp image. We talk about 4K monitors, but think about double that.
Alright though. She kind of starts pulling up all the famous cartoons. she decided to put on something that's kind of short. Short. A movie, just a movie, because she doesn't know how that will go with Kawaii. Pulling up like I don't know, Disney, all that kind of stuff.
I don't think Kawaii's touched those yet. So
I think what happens probably more than likely is it just starts kind of playing, and you start going through like it's kind of like one of those collector pieces where it's just gonna run through like a few.
Nice.
Oh, fair enough.
And sort of like as it's just on in the background, Kavai will have finally gotten to the bottom of this box of just probably, it looks like a lot of junk. And just, aha, found you.
Your closet must be a terrifying nightmare.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Like, don't go in there. Like, if things will fall on you. You'll get hurt.
This is why Mary is sitting directly in the middle of the room.
Kavai will pull
for
out.
me?
Yes. As a thank you. And they sort of fiddle with the bracelet around their wrist. They have been wearing it nonstop ever since you gave it to them. And they almost always fidget with it at this point. And you would be handed a wood and metal box, very plain, nondescript. And on the inside is a very nice, but very, very clearly antique and tarnished dagger. It is Orion in make, and I'll let Fate describe more of it.
This dagger is a very like as described, it is very ornate. It's definitely probably a bit more ceremonial-esque in its presentation. It's more probably for show more than anything else, but it does look like it serves some form of practicality. The metal itself is very interesting. It's so subtle, but the metal itself almost looks like it moves a little bit. The metal looks like it's almost a little bit malleable. It is a little faded upon just kind of sitting around, but it is a deep kind of beautiful kind of almost liquid-esque Damascus silver and brass coloring to it. Some of the like wrapped wire inlay is a deep kind of like dark emerald color. It's not super large, but it is, at the very least, it is an impressive work of craftsmanship.
And
looks. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. You first.
No. Keep describing.
Well, I was gonna say, Kavai is noticeably nervous as they hand this over, and I think they aren't focused as much as they normally are on where they are spatially. And as they hand you this box, they brush against you, and you get flashes of when Kavai obtained it. Very specifically, they stole it from their father's study.
So first of all, of course, Mira is looking at the dagger with, well, not so much, more like with awe, basically. It does look extremely beautiful. It is seemingly super duper expensive. even if she doesn't have much application for it, because using it as like cutlery feels like a crime. And she mostly uses her fists. She's just thinking she might just hang it on her wall or some stuff. Um, but the moment when she feels and then kind of senses where the dagger comes from, she kind of she smiles. She looks at Kavai with like a very genuine, bright smile. Hey, that's amazing. Thank you so much. It's just wow.
I think realizing what happened, Kavai's like just face just yellow.
Okay. Listen, I'm not going to be a prude, and like I've never stolen, not stolen, no, taken weaponry from other people. I just want to make sure that you won't get in trouble for this.
I'm in trouble for just leaving. But no, they trail off and like sort of look away and like just don't maintain eye contact, and it's less that I care that people know my past and more that I'm just not used to physical contact in general.
Well, other full people, I'm not the one to be talking about the past, so I just want to make sure that this gift won't negatively affect you. I would totally hate that.
Not at all. I wouldn't part with anything if I didn't think it would be going to someone who would appreciate it more.
Aw. Damn, you're just too sweet, aren't you? Thanks. I will make sure to keep it as safe as possible. Does look super cool.
Honestly, I think it would be better off used for something else. Maybe for paper. Knowing like full well that like you don't do that with a good knife. There's clearly more to it than she's letting on.
Yeah, not doing that with this kind of thing. I feel like it's gonna cut my table with the paper. But I am going to put it somewhere where it will look gorgeous, I think. Well, not specifically because of the place, because of the knife itself. So yeah, I will make sure to take care of it properly. And she tried to make sure to remember to look up how to take care of extraterrestrial knives.
Okay. As the evening kind of goes on, and this, which I have a very curious question because this is like specific to just flavoring of the vibe, just so the two of you can have a picture of it. With this like this brick oven, pizza oven, like served dish, uh, you going for more of a uh, like just very classic, or are you going for something a little bit more a little bit different, like a Mediterranean or like a margarita or something like that type of pizza feel?
Whatever is like more prominent to the area, I think.
Oh yeah, no, Mira wants Hawaiian pizza.
Ooh. Kavai tries this, and I'm actually gonna roll to see how she feels about it, because me personally,
Oh my God.
I'm not a fan.
It's
But Kavai...
it's for
Yeah, okay, she's very different than I am. She's like, she looks a little
Totally, yeah.
confused and puzzled at it, but then she's totally into it.
And Mira immediately, it's like 100 points to likability. She's kind of like half hugs Kawaii. Like, I know, right? See, it's like the perfect mesh of salty and sweet flavor, and it's gonna dance it in your mouth. Listen. Oh, I wish we were back at my city. You would have loved all the Hawaiian pizza that I tried. Oh, she's like
I think
super excited.
if you hug her, Kavai's like little brain explodes. It just
Not
does
like a
not know
hug,
about it.
just like a bro half hug that
It,
people that
it
are
is
too
still
nonchalant
more
do.
than they are used to, but not in a bad way. I think
Happy Pride.
she just doesn't know how
Happy
to
Pride.
interpret it at all.
Yeah, I'm enjoying watching this just unfold.
Much
into,
queer
like,
panic.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
We were just
as
excited to find a person who like is having fun with it.
with the movies playing on in the background, I think you go through, some of the ages of like certain movies. But
If we end up
as-
hitting anything by Studio Ghibli, Kavai's done for the rest of the night and just like, it's so beautiful.
Aww.
you know what? I will roll personally for that. 1 second.
Hell yeah. Please fucking the what's the name in English? The
There's a lot you're gonna have to go down a list.
no, the one about the war. And like a brother and his little sister.
Oh, the Fireflies.
Fireflies.
Yes.
The Fireflies.
I have
Yeah.
not seen that movie yet, and people keep telling me stuff, and I'm scared.
I would not recommend. It's absolute.
That's
just-
what I hear. You gotta be in a right mood for that one.
Great Grave of the Fireflies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
She'd be into Mononoke though.
this one I did roll just to see if one you would hit and
Nice.
which one it would be. And it's not a very common one, but Tales of Earthsea.
Nice. I think she'd
Also, I
probably
just want-
get into the books after that.
I just want everyone to know one thing. Mira cries at My Neighbor Totoro.
Oh no, probably like big same.
Okay. As you go through the evening with movie night, Lieutenant Commander Tate Mahone, how are you spending your off evening?
That's a good question. I think so. Tate has a lot of ship model kits that they haven't built yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're slowly going through that. They have a backlog as they've been working and they haven't really done anything yet.
Are you working on something from the 22nd, the 23rd, or the 24th century?
Let's go with 23rd.
Okay. It's a ship that at one point was a Federation flagship for Starfleet. It's unlike a current day and age, there's not really images, it's just kind of a name and a dark kind of black box with white lettering. And you're just given kind of the name and the registry, which is NCC 1777, which is the USS Titan.
Lucky.
USS Titan is a Shangri-La class vessel. It had, I believe, if I remember correctly, it had 16 decks and a crew of 400.
Nice. So, when Tate does this, it's sort of a weird bad thing for them. This is sort of like the first time since they've been joined that they've had time to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So while they're doing this, like memories from their past lives could dawn into the others. start flooding through their brain a little bit. Like their hands know what to do because they built so many of these, but their mind wanders and sort of like the home symbiote's memories are coming into their brain, and there's different stuff. There's like memories of painting beautiful artwork that is seen by hundreds. There's well, actually seen by thousands, but probably at this point. Um, there's a memory of them looking at operating table, transferring a symbiote to someone. Um, there is most recently Kadan's memories. There's that's when things start to get a little not great. There's memories of Alec, which makes him smile a little bit because Kadan and Alec were in the academy together. And then there's the last memories of Kadan, where where the mission that went wrong. There's memories of their death, of Kadan's death, of their death, and then it sort of flashes back to all the deaths of the previous hosts. And Tate drops the bottle, it shatters, and Tate sort of is rubbing their forehead, trying to like sort through this as best they can, and it's not a great state right now.
No. And one thing that you are distinctly aware of is you haven't had the specific drill training to how to kind of mitigate that, and that hasn't come up in certain instances, but thankfully it seems that you are able to compartmentalize and able to figure out how to do this a little bit on your own. However, you are aware that this could potentially, if it continues, this could be self-destructive to both you and those under your command if it gets worse.
So Tate has two ideas right now. One is to call their mother. The other is to call Commander Jerlorin. So I'm gonna roll to see which one they do.
Yep, go for it.
Evens, they call their mother. Odds, they call Jerlorin.
Alright.
My dice say Jerlorin.
Okay.
Nice.
What is the commander doing on their time off at this point?
She's back home. She finished up whatever was left dangling at the office, and she's very firm on work personal balance boundaries. It's like as soon as she's done with whatever she needs to do, she just heads home. She's had enough of work blending into more than where it should be. So at that point, it would not have taken her very long to change out of uniform and settle into just putzing around the house, trying to get used to the fact that Chakotay, well, still getting used to the fact that Chakotay is not around and underfoot. And probably absent-mindedly talking to Aurelia.
So Tate clicks her combat. Tate to Commander Jerlorin.
She's clearly surprised. Jalorin here. Is everything all right?
Kind of. There's no issues with work or anything, but I am having an issue, and you were the first person I thought to call. sorry to call you on your day off, but my mind is, and the Simeon's mind is hurting me, and I don't know what to do.
Do you need me to come to you, or can you come here?
I need you to come to me, sir. I'm sorry.
Perfectly all right. I'll be there within minutes.
Thank you.
True
And
to her word.
Yeah, and she just closes the comms, and she brings Aurelia with her.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting for you, Commander, as you're quickly moving through, but with how busy and stuff that the Madrid field office generally has been lately, you haven't really gotten to appreciate just the subtle nightlife in the evening that is, rapidly approaching around the corner. You can smell authentic foods, you can hear music that's not being played through some sort of artificial means, but rather live performance, something that is cultural and just embedded, and it hasn't ever left. But you do get to the commander's home, and it's a strange feeling for you, Tate, because it's not really before even like a knock or a door chime. You kind of just sense that Commander Shaloran is here.
I open the door before she even knocks.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't look surprised at all.
Tate looks terrible. Normally, Tate's hair is done very well. Tate is very well put together in uniform. Even when they're out of uniform, they're very clean and cut. And their hair is. Tate is a little vain with their hair and likes to keep their hair nice and conditioned and all that stuff. But their hair hasn't been washed. They have eyes under their. They have bags under their eyes. Clearly, they're going through something, and it's not great. Their clothes are messed up, and you see the shattered remains of their latest model kit on the floor. Actually, it's not even on the desk. They say, "Commander, sir, sorry, come in." And you can see they're they're looking at you, but they're not necessarily seeing you. They know you're there, but it's like they're looking through you, kind of. It's like
When you say that, Tate, when you say Commander, come in, you do recognize that Commander Jaloran is there. However, there's almost an interesting like light filtered overlap of being on a Starfleet vessel. You can see the lights in the halls, as an individual. You're not really sure what vessel this is, or if this is a vessel or a station, but you can see the overlapped like almost faded layer of being on a ship. You're seeing two things at once. You're seeing the background of the night of Madrid, Spain, and you're seeing the commander, but you're also seeing what you assume to be at least a portion, somewhere overlapped, is Kadan's memory. And your mind is not letting you discern the two as effectively as it could. You know which ones are which, you just can't. Your physical mind is just not allowing it to happen right now.
yeah. Tate, as soon as you enter the apartment, Tate sort of takes a couple steps, then collapses a little bit, like their knees give out, and they're just on the floor. They just drop on the floor, and they're like, "Damn it!"
When that happens for you, Tate, when you feel that buckle, you also, Kadan, buckles as well, as there is a torpedo blast that has hit the hull of the ship, and the ship rockets to one side upon the impact, and the red alert signs are going off. You do know what this is. This is the final hours.
So I think, if you mind if I add something to that,
Yes, please do.
I think another thing that Tate sees is, as Kadan, as Tate sees themselves falling on the ground too, because Tate was there.
Mm-hmm.
They see themselves. They're as Kadan, they see Tate falling to the ground, and hitting their head and getting a nasty cut on it
Can
from hitting their head.
you can hear the you can hear in your mind's eye. You know you're not speaking these words, but you can hear them of quickly checking you over and telling you get to sick pay, then return to station, and then a younger version of yourself nodding upon a superior officer telling you and doing so. But you are it's a light sheet of the life before being mixed with the current one. And Jordan, you can't see what's happening, but given your unique instance of having memories that you shouldn't have, you also have access to certain things of knowing about Trill society. Joined Trill go through a very particular training and ritual to specifically avoid things like this. And if this is happening, this either means that they have not gone through it yet, or someone cut in line.
She's aware that Tate is very recently joined. So she's leaning more towards they haven't done this particular thing yet.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been too recent, and a lot has happened since they were joined.
Yeah,
So,
you would know that Tate was joined about 3 weeks before episode 0.
yeah.
3 or 4 weeks.
So it's like in the moment, it's like once she's inside the door, she makes sure that the door is firmly shut. And she gives she doesn't get in Tate's way when they buckle to the floor. But she just try to monitor to make sure that they don't hurt themselves further. But once they seem to stop falling, she's very much all business, but also in a motherly sort of way,
Mm-hmm.
soft and comforting, and she just very firmly, but gets Tate back on their feet, guides them to the closest couch, and gets them to lie down on their back.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next instant, before Tate even realizes what's going on, there's suddenly this rather large, furry, fuzzy thing on their chest.
Tate's hands just go and start feeling the furriness, the fuzziness.
There is a distinctive kind of almost soothing rumble that accompanies it.
Yeah. And Tate just
Yeah.
doesn't really start kneading it a little bit, gripping it, not hard, but just trying to ground themselves so that they can get out of this memory.
Mm-hmm.
Because they know a few techniques, but
Yeah, and then the whatever creature happens to be sitting on their chest seems to readjust a little bit so that Tate can get a easier grip, and then suddenly there's this kneading motion on their chest, and after a couple of minutes pass, there's this soft whistle that starts up, and it doesn't take long for Tate to identify that this must be a lullaby of sorts.
Mm-hmm. Tate, as you are going through all of this, there is a particular memory that pops into your head. It's so long ago. You couldn't have been more than 4, maybe 5. Son Trill. It was a conversation with your mother and a doctor on just a routine vaccinations and checkups, and there was a discussion, and the doctor looked angry, frustrated, but compliant still, as your mother more or less said that there's just another vaccine that has to be added on, and rather than wait for a few months, just get it done now. But the more you're going back in your memories now, and nowadays, and going backwards, there's no reason you should have needed something extra. You're in perfect health. But once that memory kind of subsides, and then you get other memories going through, and the colors around the room kind of dance with different pastel colors and art and stuff before they all kind of shift and all that overlap kind of fades away. You're aware that this instance it's finally over for you. In this instance, it is not going to stop, but for now it has at least abated.
In the few minutes that the memories take to subside, Jolaren has managed to find a broom and clean up the mess on the floor. She's put the pieces of the ship on the desk. But she's at least gotten the glass, like the most dangerous pieces, the glass cleaned up. She's at that moment she's letting Aurelia do her thing, to help Tate come back to themselves. You know, it's like, and the longer Tate lies there, it's like the more Aurelia, it's like her whistling gets accented with some trills and chirps, and like she becomes a little bit more insistent, a little louder, like almost as if urging Tate to come back to her.
Yeah, Tate does come back, but there are tears coming down their face. Tate has always had a kind of a focused gaze. Their gaze isn't quite focused right now. They're a little like they know where they are. They're there. They're back into memories, but it's just like it's like they've been running a marathon for days, and they just need a moment to get back to focus. And they sit up a little bit, and they're just like, "So I'm
Aurelia
sorry."
doesn't let you.
Okay. Well, then from their position, they just say, "I'm sorry, Commander. I didn't know who else to call."
You're fine. You're fine. And from somewhere, it's like she's managed to find a cool, damp cloth, and she just starts wiping down their face. Aurelia's like just gazing down at like then once Tate gets a chance to focus a little bit on this critter on their chest, it's this Ryzen caracal. It's slightly bigger than a Maine Coon, very fuzzy, fur soft as a rabbit's, but it's this gradient purple fur. And their ears are very large, very large and long, and it's got 2 little horns on their forehead and very large eyes. And it's just Aurelia is gazing down at them. It's like clearly an adoration of this person underneath them. So it's like, I've barely met you, but I love you already. And Jolaren just focuses on wiping down their face, and she takes one hand and the other wipes down their hands. Then it's the cloth she's found is just she's gotten a very damp and cool
Weirdly,
giving-
Tate doesn't let you wipe their hands.
She lets it be.
Yeah, just like pull their hands away for some reason. No, you don't know why. You just don't.
Yeah, she just moves on. She just like much like a mother or grandmother. She moves right on to like the other, just wiping down their face to as in a soothing motion, letting them know she's there, and whenever they're ready, she's ready to listen.
The memories have been mixing with mine. This is the worst it's been in a while. I saw Kadan's memories again. I saw the deer, my first host. I saw all of their deaths. Fortunately, Kadan's was the only one that was really violent, but still, that was intense. It's just, I have hundreds of years worth of memories in my head, and I was never really equipped for this. I wasn't trained well for this. Kadan chose me to be his replacement if anything happened, and he said he was going to train me. He started to, but then last mission happened, and he couldn't train me anymore.
Jorn nods in understanding. She's found a one of those low footstools. She's pulled it over so that she can sit next to them. I definitely understand that. It's not something that you can shoulder lightly.
Jalorn, you're actually aware of this, whereas Tate probably isn't as aware of this. The training to mitigate this takes at least several months to a year. That's the prep time, usually. The fact that Tate can't seem to do that in this moment means someone skipped a crucial step, and that's such a large step in your mind where that feels not like an accident.
She decides not to focus on that in this moment, and then she just gives Tate some space for a moment, and then she just kind of tilts her head to one side. Meanwhile, Aurelia is like busily bussing at Tate's hands, clearly making known to Tate that she wants pets. She wants strokes. Some
Tate
she wants,
does.
yeah. She wants their attention.
Yeah, Tate'll do that.
Did anything else happen to surface?
My memories. There was a time when I was like 4 or 5, I think. I was at a doctor's office with my mother. The doctor seemed angry at my mother for some reason, but a lot of people are angry at my mother. So I'm not sure if that's unusual.
Did the doctor mention anything in particular?
I was 4 or 5, sir. I honestly, the fact that I remember that much is a miracle.
She nods in understanding. Did it feel unusual enough that you want me to go poking anywhere?
I'm I'm hesitant to try and go poking around with my mother, sir. You've never met her, but when her back's against the wall, even when it's not against the wall, she gets mean. Um,
I don't mean with your mother. I mean with you.
what do you mean with me, sir? I don't understand.
If there was a doctor, you were at a medical office, right? Like a childhood checkup?
Yeah, I was on Trill. I lived on Trill when I was a kid for a while.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of at this moment where I would go poking is in your medical records.
I
This is different for
Yeah.
you, Tate, because this your mother has no hand in this. This is your consent. So
Um, if you think it'll help, sir, I consent to you poking around my medical records. I don't know what's gonna help with that, with my memories, with my medical records. I don't understand, but if you think if you're seeing a pattern I'm not seeing, then go for it, sir. I trust you.
I know I have a few unusual things hidden in my own medical records. So does Chakotay. And if a parent is getting upset about their child with a doctor, it's likely medically related. That's where I would look first.
Okay.
With the others, what was going on? Were you just anything come up in particular that may have triggered this?
I was building that, and they point to the ship model that's kind of ruined now. And you see that there's a large desk with all these like small tools and paints and stuff. And there's a shelf floor to ceiling that's full of model ships of varying levels of skill. You can see that they've been doing. You can see a whole lifetime of getting better at what they're doing. Like you see, like very simplistic child model kits that like a 5-year-old Lego set. Then you see like the more intricate ones as it goes higher up and up. More intricate, more smaller pieces, more painting, stuff like that. You see a full lifetime of Tate's love of ships on that shelf. And
here, I'm gonna add something to this
go
that
for it.
you might not have noticed, Tate, but you can spot it because it was gradual for you, Tate. But Jolene, you are seeing something. You can almost create like a timeline for each of these ships. You're like, okay, he was about this old when this happened.
They.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, they. Wow. Okay. I've lost my license there. But yes, they. With you can build a timeline of their uh vessels, seeing like, okay, they were probably X amount of years old, and at a certain point, to the untrained eye, it looks like they just got better at it. They started understanding how things work. To a much more observant eye like yourself, Commander, little details are poking out. There are specific painting or construction accents that are just so nuanced, like so small. They're small details, they're not really even important. But it's the jump from adding those small accents of design to make the vessel really look like a scaled down version of the actual thing. It feels a little too precise for someone who might at this stage have been like 12 or 14.
She's gonna file that away. That's something that is of keen interest to her. But she nods and is like, "Your love of ships began early. I can see why you became a pilot."
Technically, I'm not a pilot, sir. Technically, I am your XO, but yes, I love ships. I don't know why, I just always have. Um, they're just. My mother once told me that it was my father's influence, but I don't remember my father, so I'm assuming she was just saying that for some reason. I don't know. But yeah.
So you were working on the ships. Did you think about anything in particular, or was your mind drifting, or?
Well, this is the first time I've had time to work on the ship since I became a hone. And when I got into making ships, it became so calming and routine. Sometimes I'd make ships when I was upset. Sometimes I would do it just to like feel calm and stuff. And just I I my mind would drift, and I would just feel. I got to the point where I could do it by feel. I didn't even have to think about it anymore. I I had my setup where I wanted it and everything, and my mind would drift while I was making these.
And one thing led to another?
Yeah, Kadan's memories, which I'm involved in because I was there, came up, and then everyone else's memories started coming in like a flood. Um,
Almost as if the
and
dam broke open?
yeah, I I know Kadan slips through sometimes when I'm stressed, but this is the this happening. This has never happened before.
There's a first time for everything.
My brain feels like it's going to explode, sir.
The
I'm fine right now, but go for it, Fate.
yeah, the with those moments, there's one little random passing thought that enters into your brain, Tate. Just something that I think that they're thinking of is the impromptu mission to 2027. Those individuals you helped escape. It's just the amount of stuff that you had, what felt very too much like not a coincidence of commonalities, is something that does pass into your mind again.
Um, Tate doesn't know what to do with that right now.
As you and the commander kind of sit with that and try and ground yourselves once again. We are going to take our 10. Please, if you are watching and listening, get up, get water, hydrate, stretch, people, please. And we will be back in hopefully 10 minutes. We'll see you then. Okay, welcome back. Obviously, the webcam doesn't exist. You're still traveling through space at probably maximum warp, and that will continue to be the case until I figure out what's going on there. However, jumping back into the game, Commander Jaloran, I believe you are deciding whether or not to perform a certain action or not.
It's like the thing. She just lets the atmosphere quiet down a little bit. She's allowing Tate time to allow them to catch their breath a little bit. Aurelia's busy being all cute on their chest. And then it's like gradually as Tate is picking up on the fact that Aurelia's movements seem to have purpose. Like at different moments where they seem to be getting a little bit distressed, and like Aurelia makes a movement like to deliberately distract them, or it's like it's almost as if this little creature has training of some sort to be to assist people in emotional distress. After a few moments, Jaloran just levels a gaze at Tate.
You have an idea.
It's a short-term fix. There's aspects of training that have clearly been skipped.
Kadan was supposed to teach me.
There's more to it than that. But I can offer an assist until you decide what to do next for a more permanent solution.
I trust you, sir.
She quirks an eyebrow and gives him a gentle like half smile. She just kind of quirks her head at them, and for this next bit, I think we can drop the formalities.
I'll try, sir, but I call my own mother at home most of the time, so that's gonna be hard.
She acknowledges that, and it's like, yeah, this is going to require quite a bit of trust on both our sides.
I know you haven't told me things, sir, but I do trust you. Do you trust me, sir?
I do. I'm just trying to figure out the best way to go about this. And she just offers out her hand.
Tate takes it without question or hesitation.
It takes a moment, but it's like suddenly the world tilts on its axis. And then the same sort of cozy fuzziness that Kavai felt just suddenly envelops Tate. Like they're in this floofy cloud. It's soothing, it's comforting.
You're
And
a
then it's like the world outside them just doesn't exist anymore.
Tate Tate was stiff and their muscles were like Aurelia helped, but like their shoulders were tight. Their neck was straight, everything. And it's like you took a 75-pound weight suit off their body.
And one of the things that like immediately becomes clear is Tate can't hear anybody else. It's like suddenly they're all on their own. Kadan, all their past lives, there's nobody else. It's just Tate.
Tate lets out like a long breath and just like takes a couple deep breaths and is trying and just like it's quiet. I forgot what that felt like.
Yeah, and then they can kind of sense on the edges that Jaloran is somewhere nearby, but like right in that moment, they're on their own.
Tate cries again. Just like in relief, it's like you've been in pain. It's like someone's been in pain for so long, and they finally get the right meds that deal with their pain,
Mm.
and they're just so relieved that they can't help but cry.
So that goes on for a few minutes, and then it's like gradually, Tate becomes aware of a different presence. It's not Jaloran. So
Who's
it's
there?
like
Tate
they're in
actually,
this they're in this mindscape. So it's like
I think Tate actually asks out loud, "Who's there?"
There's a distinctive pause, and different voices kind of ask simultaneously, but they all blend into. Eventually, they just blend into a singular voice. Trill that you are familiar with, and have not seen in some time, but takes form in the traditional, kind of militaristic, kind of gray overcoat style of the Starfleet uniform with the red command colors. Well, who do you need to be here right now?
Kadan.
Well, I sure hope so. Otherwise, if I'm any of the other hosts, then your mind is way worse than I thought.
It's good to see you again, sir.
Well, in some aspects, I could say that this is like looking into a mirror for you and looking into a future for me.
Sir, I can't do this, sir.
Or why not?
It's too much, sir. It's too much.
Well, life is too much, and people figure that out.
It's a constant. It's it's so much. The and the way it happened, the way you died, and I was made into Hone, and I don't even remember what happened after that. Like I do, and I don't. I don't even remember how he got back. I just everyone's calling me a hero and saying I saved the day, and I get an accommodation, I get a promotion, and I don't even remember what happened after you after Hone was put into me.
Well, I think for the most part, what you were experiencing, to a little bit, uh, there's many different words for it in many different cultures, except for the Klingon culture. But there is such a thing called the survivor's guilt. I do think you're experiencing a little bit of that, which I don't know why you are.
You died, sir. So many everyone. So, you died. The you died right in front of me.
I
You were
did.
supposed you were supposed to help me, and you died, and I didn't. And then I had to save the Hone symbiote, and it ended up, and that guaranteed your death. And
I
you should be here,
sustained
not me,
a
sir. You should be here.
fatal wound. Whether or not the Hone symbiote was removed from me, there was no coming back from a wound like that. Even with sickbay on deck 6, you wouldn't have made it on time, and I don't know how else to tell you this, Tate, but you're talking to yourself. I'm not fully Kadan. I am your subconscious memories.
I I understand that, but my what I'm just. How do I do this, sir? Kadan, you were supposed to train me how to do this, and I.
Training is. Believe me, the training is not all it's cracked up to be. It is helpful, but it doesn't always work. Do you know who else didn't have formal training
No,
of Trill origin? She's a fairly renowned captain at this point. Captain Esri Dax.
I've heard of her.
Well, her joining was somewhat of an accident.
Why did you choose me to be the Hone Symbiont's next host, sir? Or why did I choose me? I I'm just gonna call you sir right now because it just makes it easier for me to process.
Yeah, well. Because you have the aptitude for greatness.
Greatness. Sir, everything I got was because of my mother.
Your fascination for piloting, your ability to command, your ability to compartmentalize in situations, your ability to analyze danger, your ability to draw lines and see things where others might not see them, that all came from your mother?
Hey, when you say it like that, it sounds ridiculous.
And believe me, it is, because you're telling yourself it's ridiculous.
Oh my god. And Tate sort of rubs their forehead. Right. I'm telling myself it's ridiculous because it is ridiculous.
There you go. Now you're catching up. And at that sentence, that like now you're catching up, that voice almost echoes, and you're just in an empty space again.
Tate just like takes a deep breath to calm themselves a little bit. And they start to remember again what happened when they were joined. And but this time it doesn't really hurt them. It's like it happened to me, but also like it's a part of me now. Like the memories are a part of me. The pain is also a part of me, but that's not all that there is.
Yeah.
So
when you kind of yeah, continue.
Yeah, as the memories spool across, Tate can kind of sense that none of the other hosts, the previous hosts, are there. They're still just on their own. Like they really needed that space to process these memories on their own. But they're also getting a sense that like as Kadan's voice disappears, that presence disappears, they start to pick up on a soothing. She doesn't actually appear, but she just makes it known that like while they're going through these memories, she's there. If they need to lean on her, quote unquote, lean on her a little bit, she's there. She's not far.
Yeah. As that if that sense happens, with a connection like this, it requires an open mind on both ends. And you can pick up a memory that isn't yours, and you're not really sure how to identify this memory other than it has to be the commander's. It's in a holodeck. You don't understand the context, but there are two lieutenants completely looking alike. One you can discern is probably holographic, and the other is real. This lieutenant has a pretty harsh and brazen attitude and a penchant for stubbornness. And there is this lesson that's being taught is a little less gentle than this feeling that you're getting right now, but it is in the same concept in vein. It's just a little different. But for you, Tate, as you're kind of going through, beginning to kind of narrow out and accept these movies, you go back. You almost don't even realize you're doing it, but you go back to the final couple minutes of Katan's life. The injury, you know upon identifying it, it's a fatal wound, though at the time you never really considered it to be a fatal wound. You blocked that part out, saying, yeah, we can get you to sick bay, and him to ordering you to keep distance, to get people home. And originally when this first happened, it was, to you, it felt like a desperation move, but now, it's not a desperation move, it's a way to preserve this person's essence. Had you not taken the honed symbiote, and had you not been joined, their actions, their life, their command, their legacy ends with them. By doing so, their legacy gets to continue through you, and in doing such, it wasn't to save the symbiote, you're kind of understanding. It wasn't to save the symbiote realistically. It was more to save not one person, but several. So you kind of come to this realization, and as this kind of space begins to fade, as the two of you kind of eventually exit this mind space, you don't know how long you've been in this mind, but you have been in it for a while. The sun has long since set. The nighttime life has gone to vibrant life outside, as you are left alone in a dimmed home. Both the commander and the lieutenant commander are alone in a somewhat dim setting.
Tate lets out a sigh and says, "Thank you, sir."
She nods and she brings her other hand to just kind of enclose Tate's hand in both of hers and gives them a comforting pat. One chapter of your life has ended. A new chapter has begun.
You're right.
And the exciting part about this new chapter, you're the one writing it.
That feels good. You've been here a while. Can I get you something to eat, sir? I got some food in the pantry.
How about we go out?
Yeah,
I know a
could
little
use,
spot down the street. They
yeah,
got good food.
I could use some air.
I was like, and almost the moment she says spot down the street, Aurelia perks right up. Almost as if she knows, like, ooh, that spot. And she starts
I think it's not unreasonable to say that Aurelia beats you to the door.
and then she's just dancing around and trilling at the two of them and it's like, let's go, let's go.
Upon opening the door and heading to that area, Tate, for you, you haven't really been able to absorb it as much because of the way your mind has just kind of not allowed it to, but you're seeing the nightlife, you're seeing the dance of lights and of screens throughout the night and throughout this like city street. You can hear the different tones of music, whether they be Terran or a Vulcan or any type of variety. It's a blend. There is a healthy noise of laughter, conversation. You've always walked through Madrid, and it's always been full of people, but you've never walked through and experienced it in this moment full of life. As Jaloran and Tate head to their, or rather Jaloran's little, hidden away secret spot, where are Kavai and Mira at this point in the movie marathon?
Are they sobbing into pillows because they finally got to Grave of the Fireflies?
Oh yeah, they're absolutely destroyed.
Animation was a mistake. I'm never watching this shit again. Just like, nope. I think Kavai has to take a break from movies for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, it was one of the last ones.
Ugh. I don't know how they could stand it at the time, just knowing where things go in Terran history. Oh.
Yeah, I like got a kind of a sense of their mentality. Just for a while after knowing those guys, man, the people back there were brutal.
There is.
All right, we gotta get something else on. Like, I don't know. Let's go out. I need like something sweet. Like, come on. Like, I think she like drags you out of her house.
Coincidentally, there is a small little mom and pop shop that you may interact with certain other individuals who may be headed there by sheer coincidence. And they do have a nice healthy blend of like lunch and dinner and breakfast foods, as well as some sweet dessert stuff.
The most important question I have for you: do they have bubble tea?
Well, it certainly would be a crime if they didn't.
Perfect.
Kavai is enamored by this.
There is, by
The bubble
flavoring
tea?
convention, there is, unlike certain areas which limit themselves, this is the 24th century, and there are about, actively, there are about 50 different kinds.
Oh my god, this sounds like heaven. Anyway, Mira is definitely ordering that, and she is advising very strongly to Kavai. So, like, you know about you now are basically sorry again, train of thought. You have been introduced to the superior taste of pineapple pizza, so now I would like you to taste this nectar of gods. Also, be careful. There's like tapioca in here, and don't choke. All right.
Understood. I think Kavai looks at this very skeptically, but takes a sip, and I'm gonna roll again because we're not a fan of this one.
Aww.
I think she actually like chokes on one, like as you say, don't choke on it. She's like,
God damn it.
Right about this time, Commander Jaloran and Tate, you have arrived at this small little diner.
just like, oh no, it's terrible. I'm so sorry. Oh, it tastes like leaves and sadness and goop.
There is a it would be a Rician shop owner. She's definitely older and kind of looks and just laughs lightly at you, Kavai, and just, I have something that might be a little better. And effectively makes a sweeter type of, like a shaved, like almost like a shaved mango or some type of fruit. That's kind of cold but refreshing.
All right.
As Tate and Jaloran, you had to probably seen the tail end of Kavai choke on bubble tea.
Oh, great.
Oh my god.
Well, once that like minor wave of embarrassment passes, she'll leave them over.
Jolorn is clearly looking very amused as this streak of furry, fuzzy purple like suddenly dives between Mira and Kavai. As like there's like whatever opening was between them, like this streak suddenly goes between them. And then there's this little critter that's just dancing around on the countertop in front of the Orion or the Ryzen.
Mm-hmm.
Like clearly this critter knows this person.
All right, Jaloran, and you'll notice she's definitely civilian. Doesn't care about rank or anything. It just doesn't care. We'll just. Jaloran, are we going with something a bit savory for this one? Sweet. What are they feeling this time? Or what are you feeling you have the energy to deal with tonight?
Let's go with a bit of sweet.
She doesn't let you get sweet very often, so behave.
And the little critter just like trills very happily. It is like, yay!
Kavai has definitely never seen a creature like this before. I think she like reacts to it like almost with like alarm for a second, and then curiosity, and then sort of like looking at everyone else, like trying to judge their reaction to it, and like they're not sure if this is like a sentient creature or not, or like what's the deal with it. Kavai has no experience with any like quadrupeds like at all.
As for Mira, you can hear an extremely loud gasp, like she is like very, very, very tenderly looking at the creature, but you know, not attempting to reach out. She's literally like clenching her own elbows, trying not to basically, you know, reach for the Aurelia, just because she knows that she's a big woman and animals are usually scared of her. And, well, she's not the owner. She can't just touch an animal without permission.
Yeah. As the Asian woman kind of gives this creature like a small little bowl of something like probably a little cold and a little sweet. She looks to the four of you. So is it just the four of you tonight then? I know business for myself has been a little slow today, but any particular orders this fine evening, or am I kind of going off of the other stuff, Jaloran, seeing as they seem to know you?
Let's go off of the other stuff. Surprise us a little bit tonight. We'll just be over there. And she gestures to the table that is clearly a favorite spot to sit.
Mm-hmm.
And as she walks by the counters and she scoops up the bowl that the Ryzen has prepared and heads over to the table. Like the moment she scoops it up, there's clearly a very disappointed squeal of like, I can't do this now. I have to wait like 2 more minutes.
The Ryzen woman does something that I think the rest of that Jolene, you've seen her do a couple of times. I don't think the rest of you have ever seen her do this. She moves over to where like this. It's a very antique style door. There's no like automated door. It is very like swing open and shut with like a glass pane on it, and a very traditional olden like sign. And it where it says open, she flips it to saying closed and just locks it.
Ooh.
And then Dolores
He's
just
intrigued.
winks at the others as she sets the bowl down on the floor by the table for Aurelia.
I think at that, Kavai is like addressing the creature. You prefer to eat on the ground? Just matter of factly.
Aurelia just chills and just dives for the bowl.
Yeah, there's no unlike
It's
the rest of
clear
your
focus.
compatriots, there is entire amount of focus on food right here, right now, and propriety is gone.
Favorite treat here, right here.
But it
Hell
takes
yeah.
a good. It's a decent wait time as this woman. You can begin to smell all of this stuff, begin to permeate throughout this entire diner, and what you are effectively treated to is a authentically made like like 4 course kind of Mediterranean, like Spanish Mediterranean, like meal.
Oh, beautiful.
There's a mix of many different flavors. If one doesn't suit your palate, something else most assuredly will. And this woman, this woman kind of looks over, looks towards Jordan, looks towards Tate, looks towards Kavai, looks towards Mira. Gives a like she's taking a mental note of something in her brain, and it takes you a little bit to figure it out, for you to figure it out. But what she's doing is she has mentally noted each one of you. You can tell she's good with faces. She's mentally tacked what you didn't eat a lot of and what you did eat a lot of, and has memorized your face and kind of knows where your preferences lie now.
God damn, that's so cool. Actually.
Yeah, Jaloran is like completely at ease with this, since like she's clearly been here quite a bit. So like whatever is plopped down in front of her is should it seems to be very well known that to the horizon that Jaloran will polish this off.
Mm-hmm. As that completes and all of you begin, thank you for the food and exit. Your comm badges don't go off. It's not the comm badges that go off. It is all these screens on the street flickering to the same image. Mars. A red planet where Utopia Planitia is stationed. And the sky is on fire. Space docks and space ports are exploding. Shuttles are trying to escape the planet as fast as they can, and external vessels of automated nature gun them down. Various amounts of quick communications cut through live feed and are immediately cut off as the vessel doesn't have enough time to transmit. There is a Mars colony nearby, and you can see one of them. She's frantically saying, like, spitting out something about the the synthetic workforce, we're under attack, and then it just cuts out.
Kate's hand goes to her combat and says, "Mom, are you okay?"
The sky is alight with streaks of shooting stars. But you know better. These aren't shooting stars. These are vessels that maybe attempted warp and are vaporizing upon re-entry. Small shuttles, shuttlecrafts. There is no response, Tate, from your mother, but given the little instance of the stuff that has flashed across screens everywhere, it's not unreasonable to assume that communication satellites have been destroyed. The silent night of culture and nightlife has immediately gone into stunned silence. There is no music, there is no conversations on the street. Just overwhelming horror. Kavai and Mira, perhaps a little too on theme for you in this moment. With you,
I think Kavai even turns to Amira and just says, like, and looking back up, just like very slack-jawed for a moment. We were supposed to be beyond this.
Nope, we were not. What I'm saying is, like, we're here, did school. She kind of like grabs her shoulders. So it's cool. We're fine. We're alive. Just don't think about it.
Upon that, you stand in this street, a scant couple minutes away from the Seoul Atlantic Field Office. And the street itself makes no noise. In shock and utter silence. That is where we're going to end this session.
Oh boy.
That was our that was our mid-season finale. With all of that in order, as just so all of you know, once again, there will be no session next week because I have a prior obligation that I forgot about. And certain individuals might not be present for the upcoming sessions, but we will figure it out and make it work. I believe, Little, you said 2 weeks, right?
Until 23rd of July, considering that we're not playing this week with this the next one,
Until the
I will be.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I will be on 23rd specifically. I may appear, but it depends on return specifically.
All right. No, that we can make that work.
Talk about a cliffhanger.
Yep. But
Heck yeah.
all of you get to wait in a little bit of reserved anxiousness. But yes, the next session we will do a whole giveaway thing. People will have to be present for chat to be present in chat. For
Yeah, it'll give people time to filter in for that.
But if you have, even if you have people who are interested in it, then send them our way. We'd love to have them. However, that has been our session. As always, if it has been even for a little bit, we hope especially in this time, as this is kind of a reminder that the world can be a scary place, but we do really hope that, at least for us, we hope for a little bit of time, even if it isn't forever, and just for a moment, we truly do hope we have been a little bit of a weekly bit of R&R. So we will see you later.